White House has touted a lot of last year's record low Black unemployment rate, but that only tells one part of the story in terms of the Black economy. While Black wealth has increased, so has the racial wealth gap. Home ownership for Black Americans continues to be at just as low as it was in the 1960s, and the price of homes is still pretty high. Are there any indicators that the White House can point to that suggests that the economic conditions for Black Americans will improve this year?
Yeah, so I have a couple of indicators that I'm happy to go through with you. I'll say this at first, though. The president has talked about investing in America. He talks about his Bidenomics plan and how it helps all Americans and make sure it doesn't leave anybody behind. And one of the things that, as part of that, one of the things that the president has done with his plan is make sure that we invest in Black communities. That is something that the president finds to be incredibly important so that we do not leave communities behind. And you saw the president go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he visited a Black small businesses and talked about how Black small businesses have been essentially growing under this administration, and that's important. And by millions, the numbers by millions more broadly on small businesses being created on this administration. So that's important. So a couple of things that we saw data because of the American Rescue Plan that the president signed, first piece of legislation that he signed that only Democrats voted for in Congress, we've seen a couple of things. Over 2.5 million Black Americans have gained jobs, and the Black unemployment fell from 9.2% to 5.8%. Black wealth is up at a record 60% since 2019. That's something that you just stated in your question to me. The number of Black households owning a business has more than doubled since 2019, and Black business ownership is growing at the fastest pace in 30 years. And something else too, there's 2/3 of new clean energy jobs are in communities of color, including nearly 60,000 in Black communities. And let's not forget the insulin cap, right, for our seniors that the president was able to get done under the Inflation Reduction Act. That's going to have a huge effect on Black communities as well. So these are the actions that the president has been able to take through legislation, right? Very, very important legislative actions that we have seen communities like the Black community be able to see an investment in their communities and also not be left behind like they have been for decades.